The conversation is over. You said goodbye, you walked away. But in your mind, the conversation is just beginning. Why did I say that? Did I laugh too loud? Did they think I was weird? Should have said this instead. If you replay every conversation like a broken record, analyzing every word, every pause, every reaction, this video will explain exactly why you do this. And it might just change everything. First, let me tell you something important. You are not crazy. You are not broken. Studies show that nearly 60% of people replay conversations in their head. But for some people, it goes deeper than that. You don't just remember the conversation, you dissect it. Frame by frame, word by word. You remember the exact moment someone's smile seemed forced? The split second of silence that felt like an eternity? That one sentence you said that sounded perfectly fine in your head, but the moment it left your mouth, you wanted to take it back? And the worst part? Hours later, even days later, you're still thinking about it. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't just anxiety. This is your brain trying to protect you. So why does your brain do this? It comes down to something psychologists call post-conversation rumination. Here's what's happening. Your brain has an overactive social monitoring system. It's constantly scanning for threats to your social standing, your reputation, your relationships. In the past, being rejected from your social group meant actual danger. It meant isolation, vulnerability, even death. So your brain evolved to be hypervigilant about social interactions. And for some people, this system never turns off. When you replay conversations, your brain isn't torturing you for fun. It's trying to answer one question. Am I safe? Am I accepted? Am I liked? Every word you analyze, every reaction you question, it's your brain running a safety check. The problem is, it never finds the answer it's looking for, because no amount of analysis can guarantee acceptance. But let's talk about what this really costs you. The mental exhaustion of carrying every conversation with you. The anxiety before social events because you know what comes after. The relationships you don't pursue because the aftermath feels too heavy. You've probably turned down invitations, not because you didn't want to go, but because you couldn't handle one more conversation to replay. You've stayed quiet in group settings. It's not because you had nothing to say, but because speaking meant another loop of why did I say that? And here's the cruelest part. The more you care about people, the more you analyze conversations with them. Your closest relationships become the heaviest to carry. This isn't just social anxiety. This is a pattern that's quietly stealing your peace. But here's what most people miss about this trait. People who analyze conversations deeply. They're usually the most empathetic people in the room. You notice things others miss. Microexpressions. Tone shifts. Unspoken emotions. You care deeply about how your words affect people. You have high emotional intelligence, sometimes too high for your own peace of mind. The same sensitivity that makes you replay conversations is the same sensitivity that makes you a good listener, a thoughtful friend, someone people trust with their feelings. Your problem isn't that you care too much. Your problem is that you're directing all that care toward judging yourself instead of understanding yourself. What if instead of asking, did I mess up, you asked, what am I really afraid of? So how do you stop this exhausting loop? First, set a time limit. Give yourself 5 minutes to replay the conversation if you need to. Then, consciously close that mental tab. Tell your brain, I've reviewed this. We're done. Second, ask the reality question. When you catch yourself spiraling, ask, what actual evidence do I have that this went badly? Not feelings, evidence. Most of the time there is none. Third, practice the 24-hour rule. If something still bothers you after 24 hours and you have real evidence it went wrong, then address it directly. A simple text. Hey, I felt like our conversation was a bit off yesterday. Is everything okay? You'll be shocked how often the other person didn't notice anything wrong at all. Fourth, redirect the analysis. Your brain loves to analyze. So give it better questions. Instead of what did they think of me? Ask what did I learn about them? Fifth, remember this truth. Most people are too busy replaying their own conversations to judge yours. Everyone is the main character in their own story. You're probably a background character in theirs. And that's actually freeing. If you analyze everything you say after a conversation, you're not broken. You're just carrying a protective mechanism that's working over time. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. Your awareness is not a weakness. The goal isn't to stop caring what people think. The goal is to care what you think about yourself more. Because the person whose opinion matters most is the one replaying the conversation. Be kinder to that person. They're doing their best. If this resonated with you, leave a comment telling me, what's the last conversation you couldn't stop replaying? You're not alone in this. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.